Hi students. So till now we have completed the endocrine gland, that was thyroid gland. So in this lecture we'll discuss about the next gland, that is your parathyroid gland, and if possible some other glands as well. So parathyroid gland. See, the number of parathyroid thyroid gland is actually 4. There are 4 parathyroid glands are there. Okay. Now where they are located actually? These glands remain embedded in the dorsal surface of the thyroid gland. तो कहाँ पे रहता है ये? They are located on the dorsal side. They are embedded. देखो embedded मतलब it can be partially or it can be completely embedded in the thyroid gland in the dorsal side. So let us see the diagram. देखो. So you can see here. So this is the thyroid gland total. So this parathyroid glands are located on the dorsal side, embedded on the thyroid gland, completely or partially. Okay, so this is the thyroid gland and these are parathyroid gland. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 parathyroid glands. Okay. Now they are 2 pairs. That means 4 means they are present in 2 pairs. Okay. And what I said, they are embedded in each lobe of the thyroid gland, completely or partially. Just now we have seen this thyroid gland on the dorsal side, this parathyroid glands in pair present in each lobe. Each lobe it is having 2 in number. So 2 lobe they are having 4. Okay. So they were discovered for the first time. They were discovered for the first time by whom? They were discovered by Raynaud. Okay, Raynaud was a scientist who discovered them for the first time, and the detailed description was given by Sandorn. Raynaud was a scientist who discovered these glands, and Sandorn, S-A-N-D-R-O-N, Sandorn, who actually explained and gave description about this form or about this glands. Okay. Now the total weight of this parathyroid gland is about 140 gram. Okay. So what is the total weight of these glands? Total weight of this gland is 140 gram. Okay. Now these glands are made by epithelium of third and fourth branchial pouches or pharyngeal pouches. Okay. Or simply we can say they are endodermal in origin. They are endodermal in origin, and they consist of 2 types of cell basically. Okay, so this glands, which was discovered by Raynaud, and the description was given by details were given by Sandorn. Okay, and the total weight is approximately 140 gram, and they are endodermal in origin. And if you see these glands, so we can find there are 2 types of cell. Basically they have 2 types of cell, namely chief cell, which are smaller in size, and then oxyphil cells, which are large in size. Okay. So now this chief cell actually secretes the parath hormone. So the chief cells are responsible for the secretion of the hormone from the parathyroid gland, which is known as parath hormone or PTH. Parath hormone or PTH. Okay. And that is synthesized, as pheromones. These hormone, that means these parath hormones, are basically synthesized in the form of pheromones. Okay. And this hormone is also known as Collips hormone. This is also known as Collips hormone. Okay. So basically they are synthesized as pro hormones. Okay. So basically they are synthesized as pro hormone, and which is actually lose 25 amino acid to become active parath hormone. So listen it carefully for the second time. See, these hormones, these parath hormones, they are synthesized as a pro hormone. What is that hormone? as a pre-pro hormone. First time they synthesize as pro hormones, and after losing 25 amino acid, it become, or it actually transform into active parathormone. Okay, so first of all, when they synthesize, they are not active; they are actually inactive in state. After losing 25 amino acid, they become active parathormone. Okay. Now, what is the function of this hormone? Now, so this function, or the hormones, actually they are having basically, these hormones regulate the calcium and phosphate balance between the blood and the tissue. Okay. What it do? It actually maintain the balance of calcium and phosphate between the blood and the tissues. That is very important. Okay. Now, the parathormones are also known as hyperkalemic factor or hormone. Okay. Why it is called hyperkalemic factor? We'll discuss. Now, whenever the parathormone is actually increases the blood calcium. See, whenever there is a require for the like control the blood calcium. That means whenever the calcium level is high in the blood, then this parathormone actually release of the parathormone hormone will increase. Okay, and as a result, the blood calcium level, okay, actually to increase the blood calcium level to normal. Okay, so whenever there is a difference in the balance of the calcium ion, like if it is not properly maintained, so at that time, if it is like this, then this parathormone will be released and it will increase the blood calcium to normal level, not more than normal, till normal level. Okay, to maintain the normal level of the calcium ion. Okay, how we do? By drawing the calcium from the bones into the plasma. कैसे करते हैं? By drawing the calcium from bone to the plasma. Okay, so here the point is also there. Let us discuss. The parathormone increase the blood calcium level to normal by drawing the calcium from the bones into the plasma. And what is this next way? See, this is the first method, or this is the first, like this is the way the calcium level is maintained. First is by drawing the calcium from the bones if it required. Then second is by increasing the calcium absorption in the digestive tract. So from the digestive tract, the calcium absorption is also increased. And what is the third step or third method? What is that? By reducing the less calcium ion in the urine. Okay, so these are the three different ways. Okay, we maintain the calcium level, or actually we brought the calcium level to normal by this three method. So the first one is the most important. We draw whenever it requires. See, in the chapter of skeleton, you have already learned that our endoskeleton, or the skeletal system of our, in case of us, it is working as a calcium and phosphorus reserve. So whenever we require, whenever there is a less concentration, or the concentration of the calcium is, it is below the normal level, which is actually required, which is optimum level. If it goes below the optimum level, then what we will do, what our system will do, parathormone will be released, and as a result, it will stimulate the osteoclast cells and of the bone, and we will release the bone will release the calcium. Okay, and there are three different ways. That is the first and the main way is to release to get the calcium from the bone. Second is by increasing the calcium absorption from the digestive tract, and by reducing the loss of calcium from the urine. So these are the different way we maintain the calcium, and where the parathormone hormone is having the most important role. I hope it is clear. Now it lowers the blood phosphate by increasing the elimination of phosphate in the urine. So whenever there is a increasing level of phosphate beyond the normal, then what we do? Okay, How we lowers it? How we lower the phosphate level to the normal? We eliminate the phosphate with urine. Okay. Now, so let us just repeat what is happening, what we have discussed in a proper way. See, the parathormone are released, okay, or the release of the parathormone, what it do, it increases the blood calcium to normal by drawing the calcium from the bones into the plasma, by increasing the calcium absorption in the digestive tract, and by reducing the loss of calcium in the urine, and it lowers the blood phosphate by increasing the elimination of phosphate in the urine. Then parathormone, that is your PTH, has an effect that oppose the effect of calcitonin. In the last gland, in thyroid gland, we have discussed that calcitonin is released, right? And what is its function? It is secreted by the parafollicular cells or special type of cell, that is C cells, right? And mainly what is its function? It helps to lower the calcium in the blood. But here what it do? Parathormone, it is doing opposite. So that's why it is, these two hormones are antagonistic to each other, right? One is increasing the calcium level in the blood or in the plasma. Another one is decreasing the calcium level or the concentration of the calcium in the blood plasma, right? Now the next thing is, if this hormones, the parathormone or the hormone secreted by this parathyroid gland, if it is secreted below the normal level, then what will happen? Okay. See, if the calcium level, we will discuss that hyposecretion. If it is secreted below the normal, then what will happen? If it secretes more than the required quantity, then what will happen? We will discuss what is its effect. We will discuss in detail. Right. So before that, let us see a flow chart to understand that how the calcium balance is maintained inside our blood plasma, inside our body. So this is a flow chart. So what we can see here. First, thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, we have already studied what is the hormone it releases. It releases calcitonin. What is its function? It stimulates the osteoblast cells. Okay, you please correct. I may said osteoclast previously. It is osteoblast cell. Okay, so the osteoblast to take up more calcium from the blood. Okay, ये बहुत अच्छे से समझिए आप लोग कि थायराइड हार्मोन क्या रिलीज करता है? कैल्सिटोसिन हार्मोन. काम क्या है इसका? ऑस्टियोब्लास्ट सेल जो कहां पे रहता है? बोन में रहता है. क्या करता है? उसका काम क्या है? अगर इसको स्टिमुलेट करेगा तो वो क्या करेगा? मैक्सिमम कैल्शियम जो है ब्लड में जितना कैल्शियम है उससे ज्यादा मैक्सिमम कैल्शियम विल बी एब्सॉर्ब्ड फ्रॉम द ब्लड because of the effect of this calcitonin hormone. As a result, the bone will become more and more strong, more and more density of the bone will increase. Okay, it will become more strong. Now, if the calcium level in the blood decreases, now what happens if the calcitonin is released? It stimulates. Then what it will do? It will stimulate the osteoblast cell of the bone. Then bone will absorb most of the maximum quantity of the calcium from the blood. As a result, there is a possibility that the calcium level can become low, or concentration of the calcium in the blood will reduce, right? So reduce, but if it goes below the normal, okay, then what will happen? Then parathormone gland will come in action. Okay, and what it will do? It will secrete the PTH, that is parathormone hormone. Okay, and then the parathormone hormone, what it will do? The parathormone hormone will stimulate the osteoclast cells. Okay, so osteoclast cells, not in the first case, osteoclast cell, it is in the second case. Okay, to return the calcium ion in the blood. तो अच्छे से समझिए, ऑस्टियो जो आपके ब्लास्ट सेल्स हैं वो क्या करते हैं? वो आपके मैक्सिमम जो कैल्शियम है वो ब्लड से एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं बोन में. और ऑस्टियोक्लास्ट सेल्स क्या करते हैं? दे रिलीज द कैल्शियम फ्रॉम द बोन, राइट? फर्स्ट केस में बोन का डेंसिटी इंक्रीज होता है, सेकंड केस में बोन का डेंसिटी reduce होता है, ठीक है. Now as a result what will happen? See, there may be two conditions. First, if the calcium ion is released more, then the calcium ion concentration in the blood will increase, it will become high, but the purpose is to make it normal. So in case if it is go beyond the normal level, if it is high, then again what will happen? The high calcium level in the blood stimulates the secretion of calcitonin again. तो आपको समझ में आया? अगर कैल्सिटोनिन रिलीज हो, अगर ब्लड में कैल्शियम का लेवल ज्यादा है तो कैल्सिटोनिन रिलीज हो जाएगा, तो बोन से ज्यादा बोन एक्स्ट्रा जो कैल्शियम आयन है उसे एब्जॉर्ब कर लेगा. और अगर घट गया कैल्शियम का कंसेंट्रेशन तो क्या होगा? पैराथॉर्मोन जो है वो रिलीज हो जाएगा. इससे क्या होगा? जो भी आपका एक्स्ट्रा जरूरत या ऑप्टिमम लेवल है, व्हाट इज द ऑप्टिमम कंसेंट्रेशन ऑफ द कैल्शियम आयन रिक्वायर्ड, एंड इट विल बी फुलफिल्ड बाय द रिलीज ऑफ द कैल्शियम आयन फ्रॉम द बोन. ठीक है ना? तो एक दूसरे का ऑपोजिट है. सो दिस इज द वे द कैल्शियम आयन लेवल इज मेंटेन और phosphate level is maintained inside our body or inside our blood plasma. Okay, I hope it is clear. And what is the normal level of the calcium ion? That is your 9 to 11 mg per 100 ml of blood. So that is the normal level. So this is the flow chart to make you understand in a better way. So let us go back and discuss the hyposecretion. Hyposecretion of the hormone, parathyroid hormone means PTH. So what will happen in case of the hypo means less secretion. Okay. So what are the consequences if it happens? Due to that, what will happen? The calcium level will fall in the blood. Okay. And if the calcium level fall in the blood, there is a disorder known as parathyroid or hypokalemic tetany. Okay, so that will cause, क्या हो जाएगा? अगर कैल्शियम लेवल बॉडी ब्लड में कम हो जाएगा, क्यों? क्योंकि आपका जो पैराथॉर्मोन हार्मोन है वो रिलीज नहीं हो रहा ठीक से, ऑप्टिमम क्वांटिटी में रिलीज नहीं हो रहा. इन एज अ रिजल्ट व्हाट विल हैपन? इट कैन नॉट मेंटेन द बैलेंस, ओके, ऑप्टिमम लेवल ऑफ द कैल्शियम आयन, राइट? एज अ रिजल्ट व्हाट विल हैपन? देयर इज अ डिजीज नोन एज hypokalemic tetany or parathyroid tetany. This will happen. And tetany के बारे में we have already discussed about the tetany in the chapter of locomotion and movement. Tetany is a disease that is also known as wide contraction, right? Now in this condition, the muscle twitching, painful spasm, okay, where we can see this condition, these things happen like painful spasm, hand, face, muscles, okay. The suddenly spasm can happen in your hand muscles or also in the face muscles, and you can have the feeling of pain. Okay, so it's just painful spasm can happen because of this hyposecretion of this hormone, right? Next is hypersecretion. If it is secreted in more than normal quantity, that means maximum quantity, more quantity, what will happen? See, due to the hypersecretion of parathormone, the osteoclast cells feed excess amount of bone unnecessarily. अगर ज्यादा भी PTH रिलीज होगा तो ज्यादा osteoclast सेल को स्टिमुलेट करेगा, तो ज्यादा कैल्शियम बोन से निकल जाएगा unnecessarily, right? As a result, what will happen? The bone become brittle and weak, and this condition is called osteoporosis. That means it affects the density of the bone. As a result, it can cause osteoporosis, right? So the bones become brittle or it become weak, right? Now this condition can also cause a disorder known as osteitis fibrosa cystica. Osteitis fibrosa cystica. Okay, it is a skeletal disorder. अब क्या होता है? In this condition, cavities can be seen on the bones. This is another one problem, another one disorder, where there is a cavities on the bone can be seen, and this is because of more calcium is taken out from the bone. Okay. Okay, that is osteoporosis only. Okay. Now the calcium, if the all this calcium, that is the extra calcium which are coming out in the blood, there are chances that these calcium in its dissolved form can deposit it in the kidney and may result into kidney stone. So what is the other problem? We can see what is the other problem can happen again. What is the other problem? It can lead to some other problem as well if the hormone is secreted in more quantity. See, because of the more hormone secreted, that means the level of extra calcium ion which is present inside the blood, because they are present in the dissolved state, then this calcium can deposited in the kidneys as well. And when it is deposited in the kidneys, then it can cause kidney stone as well. So this is the reason the kidney stones are actually happening. If the hormone is increases more than the normal level, then as a result, it can increase the calcium level inside the blood plasma, and because it is present in a dissolved state, so it can also reaches kidney, and sometimes it can stuck there and it can form stones, and those are called kidney stones. Right. Now, next, so till now we have discussed about the parathyroid gland. Now the next gland, gland we're going to discuss, that is your pineal body or pineal gland. Okay. So what is pineal body and what is pineal gland? See, the pineal body or the pineal gland, it is situated at the dorsal side of the diencephalon of anterior part of the brain, that is your prosencephalon. Okay. So where it is situated? It is situated at the dorsal side of the diencephalon of anterior part of the brain, that is your prosencephalon. So let us see the diagram to get more clarity. So this is the diagram we have. So this is diencephalon. Okay, this is cerebrum, this is cerebellum, and just after the diencephalon on the dorsal side of the diencephalon, the anterior part of the brain. See, this is the anterior part of the brain. So this is the location of pineal gland, right? So let us discuss. Now this pineal gland is also known as epiphysis. It is also known as epiphysis cerebri. It is also known as epiphysis cerebri, and it is ectodermal in origin. The previous gland what we have discussed, that is the parathyroid gland, that was endodermal, and this is your ectodermal in origin. Okay. Now pinealocyte, pineal, pineal gland, they have pinealocyte cells and supporting interstitial cells or neuroglial cells. So what are the different types of cells, or what are the cells you can see if we see inside the gland? So there are pinealocyte cells or supporting interstitial cells, pinealocyte cells and supporting interstitial cells, which are also known as neuroglial cells. Right. So these are the two different types of cells what we can see basically if we see inside this pineal gland. Now, what is this function? It secretes an amino acid, that is melatonin. It secretes what? It is secreting an amino acid, that is your melatonin, and melatonin is actually basically working or functional in the lower vertebrates. That is that means in higher vertebrates this melatonin is not actually secreted. Okay, it is actually happening in case of lower vertebrates, right? And what is its function? See, the melatonin plays a very important role in the sleep cycle actually. Okay, so the melatonin plays a very important role in the sleep cycle. That is, it regulates a 24-hour rhythm of our body. Okay, it actually control or regulate the 24-hour rhythm or sleep cycle of our body, and that's why it is also called circadian system. That's what is also called circadian system. So this system is also known as circadian system. So controlling of these 24-hour sleep cycle is also known as circadian system. Next. Now it also influences the metabolism and pigmentation of menstrual cycle as well as our defense capability. Okay. Apart from it maintaining the sleep cycle, it also helps in maintaining the body temperature, that is during the night time. It also helps in decrease the body temperature as well as respiration, as receptors of melatonin are found in pituitary, ovaries, blood vessels and intestinal tract. It also influences the metabolism, pigmentation, the menstrual cycle as well as our defense capability. So these are the different functions which is done by this particular gland, right? Now it also influences the metabolism, pigmentation we have discussed. Next is in man, in case of us, the pineal gland actually starts to calcify at about the time of puberty. Okay, so these glands are actually getting calcified during the time of puberty. In our puberty period, it get solidified or it get calcified. Okay, and how it to see such calcium deposits of means during the calcification or during it get calcified when the gland starts to calcify, the calcium deposits such as your CaCO3 and Ca3PO4. So those are the calcifying compounds. Now the brain sand or acer woolly fills pineal glands at maturity. So these brain sand, this calcifying elements, these are also known as brain sands or acervuli fills, which actually fills the pineal gland at maturity. So maturity, when we attain the maturity at that time, this brain sand or acervuli actually fills the pineal gland. Okay. Now serotonin, it is a vasoconstrictor neurotransmitter found in other location in the brain, is also found in the pineal gland. Okay, so these are the very different and very interesting information you should know. See this serotonin, which what we can see, this serotonin is actually a vasoconstrictor neurotransmitter found in other location in the brain. सो ब्रेन के दूसरे लोकेशन में हमें क्या मिलेगा, सेरोटोनिन मिलता है. वो क्या है एक्चुअली, इट्स अ वैसोकंस्ट्रिक्टर. सो दैट सेरोटोनिन इज आल्सो वी कैन फाइंड इन दिस पीनियल ग्लैंड. सो पीनियल ग्लैंड में क्या है, सेरोटोनिन भी मिलता है, राइट. इन केस ऑफ एम्फीबियंस एंड रेप्टाइल्स, ओके, in case of lower vertebrates we've just discussed now. So in case of amphibians and reptiles, this hormone is related with metamorphosis. That means in case of amphibians, that is in case of the lower vertebrate, this hormone is actually working as a, or it is helping in metamorphosis, right? Now next, what is the next we should discuss? So the next is mid part of the gland secrete antigonadal hormone. That is in our case, like mid part of the gland is secrete the antigonadal hormones. Now that's why the scientists have done an experiment where they have removed this pineal gland from rat, and what they have observed, it as a result, it attained the premature adolescence, right? So that means the gland probably controls the sexual behavior according to this experiment, right? And it is also working as a biological clock. So the main function what we can actually consider, that is, it is working or maintaining the circadian rhythm or system, and that means the biological clock or sleep cycle. That is a main function. That's why it is considered as or it acts as biological clock, right? So the next gland we need to discuss now, that is your thymus. So we'll discuss the thymus gland. This is the thymus gland. Now the thymus gland, it is the it is not the largest, my mistake. The thymus glands actually, it's very interesting, and it's very important for important endocrine gland. So the thymus gland, it is situated in the anterior part of the heart, and that is called mediastinal space. So let me show you the space. This is the area. Okay, so this is the area of where the heart is located, and the gland, the thymus, where it is located, that area, it is actually the space, and the name of the space is mediastinal. Okay, mediastinal space. That is the location where this gland is located. So if you magnify and if you take a section, so we'll have this diagram. We can find there are different types of cells inside that. So we'll discuss that later. First, let us discuss about the basic or the general features of this gland. See, it is situated at the anterior part of the heart, which is called mediastinal space, and it is soft, pinkish, bilobed mass of lymphoid tissue. It is made up of lymphoid tissue. It is pinkish in color, it is bilobed, and it is soft in nature, right? And it have opposite effect on plasma calcium level. So it is also having opposite effect on the plasma calcium level. Okay, and this gland is also endodermal in origin. Okay, and the thymus gland is well developed in newborn child, but it reduces continuously from adulthood to the old age. Okay, so this is endodermal in origin. Okay, it is well developed in case of a child, and after the puberty this gland goes under a condition or a situation, what we can see just now I have said, it is reducing its size slowly from adult to old age. Okay, and that is called atrophy, shrinking of the gland. That means the gland will